So now let's continue drawing our riser number 9 upwards. First I'm going to put a 45-degree section along this pipe, and then I'm going to make the section a little tighter. And before I go in this section, I'm going to close the inactive views, and then I'm going to open the section. And here we are. So first I'm going to right click on this pipe, then select draw pipe, then go up at 45 degrees, and then straight up. Now if we go look in the plan, we see that we're going to have to go backwards a bit. So I'll go to the View tab, select Tile Views, so I could see the floor plan and the section view simultaneously. Now in the section, I'm going to select this pipe and the fittings, and then I'm going to gradually move them to the left. You see, when we move them to the left in section, we can see that in the plan they're actually going backwards. And it looks like it's good if we stop here. Now once again, I'm going to go over to the View tab, then click on Tab Views. So we were in the first floor, and now let's go up. We're going to go over to the second floor, and it looks like the riser is just going to be going up to this level without any branches. Let's head to the third floor, and then here you can see that in the third floor, which is in fact below the ceiling of the second floor, there's going to be a branch connected to this riser, which if we follow, we can understand that it's in fact riser number 5 connecting to it. Let's go double check that in the riser diagram, and as you can see, there aren't any branches in this level, but in the third floor, which is below the ceiling of the second floor, there's a branch to connect riser number 5 to it. And after that, the riser number 9 continues up to the fourth floor. So let's go model what we just saw. First, I'm going to head to this section. Then I'm going to expand it a little bit from the top. And then I'm going to stretch this pipe up to below the ceiling of the second floor. We're going to stop here. Now let's head back to the third floor plan, which in fact shows below the ceiling of the second floor, and see which way we should direct the rest of the pipe. First it goes to the left, then it goes up at a 45-degree angle, so let's go try it. I'm going to begin by placing a horizontal section in here, then I'm going to also make it tighter, right click on it and go to View. Now here I'm going to right click, select Draw Pipe, then draw at a 45-degree angle, and also make sure that the slope is up. Then I'm going to select this elbow, then click on the plus sign to convert it to a T, then right click on the T fitting and draw pipe, and draw the pipe upwards so that we could continue drawing it later. Now if we want to draw the rest of the pipe into the third floor, looks like we've gone too far, so we're going to make it shorter, then right click, draw pipe, and make sure slope is up. Now I'm going to draw this pipe at a 45-degree angle. Let's adjust it to make sure the angle is correct, and horizontally it's supposed to be 135, so click. After that, we're going to go all the way up and stop here. Now also, if we want to make it exactly according to the plan, we could bring it a little to the right, and then I'm going to have to select this elbow, click on the plus sign to convert it to a T, to make way for the clean out that's going to be placed here. Okay, so now we're going to have to not only draw the rest of riser number 9, but after that we're going to need to also come back here to finish riser number 5. But first let's finish number 9, for which we're going to have to go to the upper level, that is the 4th floor. And here we can see that from this restroom area there are going to be some branches connecting to riser number 9. But first I'm going to close the inactive views by clicking on this icon. And after that, I'm going to create a section. We're going to place a vertical one onto these branches. And then I'm going to make the section tighter, right click on it and go to View. And you can see that we are currently on the 4th floor. First, I'm going to grab this pipe and stretch it all the way up. We're going to stop here, and then I'm going to right click on it, select Draw Pipe, then draw at a 45-degree angle and slope up, then to the left. And also, if we double check in the riser diagram, we can see that this riser is not continuing to connect to a vent pipe. So that means that this would suffice. We are going to be drawing the rest of the branches and the pipes to finish the plumbing, but right now we just want to be done with the risers. Let's head back to the 3rd floor plan. And as you can see, now we are heading to drawing riser number 5. First, let's go double check that over in the riser diagram, where we can see that riser number 5 is connected to riser number 9 from this point. Then it goes a little bit in the opposite direction, and then it goes up through the levels and gets some branches. So let's head to drawing this one. First I'm going to go over here, and actually if I want to check this out in the upper levels, for example in the 4th floor, we could find the riser number 5 around here. So as you can see, in the 4th floor we've got a branch coming in from this way. There's another branch coming from above, and they are all connecting to riser number 5. We could also see its tag. It says riser number 5, and this is the point at which the riser goes down. Also here we understand that it doesn't go up any further, so let's double check that in the riser diagram. And in the riser we're going to check the upper level, which would be the 4th floor. We can see that there's one branch connected to the riser, so let's check it in the plan. Right now we are on the 4th floor, where we can see one branch is coming this way and another from this way. So basically that means that there's a contradiction between the plans. Also, it is possible that these two branches are considered as one. But still, in the plan it says that this riser isn't going to be going any further up. Whereas if we go take a look in the riser diagram, then we can see that this is right now on the 5th floor, where there's a branch connected to the riser, and it's also going higher up to connect to a vent. Now we were in the 4th floor, and we're going to go over to the 5th floor to see if there are any branches connected. And then we can see that there is one branch here, which is coming in from this restroom area. Now the tag is accurate in this level. It says that it's not going any further up and goes down instead. So this one seems to be correct. But as for the 4th floor, this symbol on the tag as to how the riser is not going to be going up is incorrect. Now also on this level, the pipe goes up vertically, and the riser diagram says that it's for the vent. But if we follow the drawing in this plan, we can see that the pipe is going up from the middle of the room. So those were a couple of things that needed to be checked. But first, let's go draw the pipe. We're going to go over in the 4th floor, where I'm going to create a vertical section around here. Then I'm going to make the section tighter. Right click on it and go to view. So let's go find the riser. Here it is. And we were in the 4th floor plan. So right here I'm going to right click on it, select draw pipe, then go up at 45 degrees, and then straight up. Then I'm going to select these two elbows and the pipe between them, and then I'm going to move them all to the left and bring the riser to between these two false walls. Let's go double check in the plan, and here's our pipe. Now we're going to be needing a 45-degree branch and another straight one from above. So right click and go to view again, and right here I'm going to right click, draw pipe, then draw at 45 degrees with slope up, then straight to the right. Then select this elbow, click on the plus sign to convert it to a T. Then I'm going to right click on the T fitting, draw pipe, and draw all the way up. Let's also stretch the section from the top up to the ceiling of the upper level. Now while we're here, let's also take a look at the upper level. And then we can see that the false walls are not all aligned with each other, and the pipe is interfering with this wall. So we're just going to have to select these fittings together, move them to the left, and there we go. And now it's between the walls. Let's go take a look in the 4th floor again, where there's also a 45-degree branch. So let's draw this one as well. First we're going to create a 45-degree section over it. Then make the section a little tighter. Right click on it and go to view. Now I'm going to get the pipe command using the shortcut PI. Then click on this pipe, draw at 45 degrees, and also make sure that the slope is up. And then I'm going to also select this T fitting and move it upwards for as far as it goes. Now this was on the 4th floor, so let's go back to its floor plan. And so far we have drawn the branches for here and here. Now let's go straight up, and that means going to the 5th floor. So here we are. Now first I'm going to have to create a horizontal section on this pipe. Click and click, because according to the plan the pipe is in this direction. Then I'm going to also minimize the section. Right click on it, then select go to view. Now we're going to head to below the ceiling of the 4th floor. So right click, select draw pipe, then go up at 45 degrees, and make sure slope is up, then go straight to the right. Now let me also stretch the section from the side. And here I can tell that this pipe is gonna need to go down a little bit because it was drawn into the ceiling. Now let's go take a look at the rest of its path to see if there's any beams in the way. So we're gonna head to the 5th floor plan. And here we see that this pipe is gonna need to go up at 45 degrees. So I'm gonna drag it backwards a little bit. Right click on it, select draw pipe, then make sure slope is up. Then I'm gonna draw all the way up here. Now according to the plan, this is the point where this pipe ends. I'm going to create a 45-degree section along this pipe and check to see if it's going to be interfering with any beams. Also, I'm going to minimize this section, right click on it and go to view. So as you can see, there is a beam in the way and the pipe happens to be going through it. So we're going to need to lower its elevation. First, I'm going to go check inside this section as well. Then in the section, I'm going to drag over these fittings and the pipe to select them. Then go back in this section to move this pipe lower, and we're going to stop here. Now the riser diagram says that this pipe is going to be going up from this point, but the floor plan doesn't say that. But I'm just going to continue drawing based on the riser diagram and simply continue drawing this pipe upwards. So we're going to need to lead this pipe vertically. Let's go in this section. Then select this elbow, click on the plus sign to convert it to a T, then right click on the T fitting, select draw pipe, and we're going to draw straight up. Now let's go also take a look at this pipe, this one over here in a 3D view. So I'm just going to drag over these pipes to select them together, and then I'm going to click on selection box. Now from this side, we can see that this riser pipe is going up between the false walls, but then when we get to this floor, we understand that there's probably a conference room through which the pipe goes up. Let's also check that out in the 5th floor, where we can see that there's also another conference room area, and the pipe goes up through it. Now if we're going based on the riser diagram, and the diagram says that this riser number 5 is going to have to go all the way up to become a vent pipe, then we would be having an interference problem. But if we are going according to the plan, which says the pipe ends here and doesn't go any further up, then the floor plan would be the correct one. Let's go take a look in 3D. If we choose to go according to the plan, then we wouldn't have this pipe going inside this room, and the pipe would simply end below that level. So all of these issues and details need to be checked with the client, which is why I'm going to place a comment for it. I'm going to go over to the Annotate tab, Revision Cloud, then click here to draw this cloud. And then in the comments field, I'm going to write riser versus plan. Let's also add a question mark at the end, then click on this green check mark to confirm. Also, in the 4th floor, we had some issues with the symbols. Like, if you remember here, we said that this one represented how this riser isn't going to be going further up. So we go to the Annotate tab, Revision Cloud, and draw this cloud here. Then in the comments field, we're going to write riser with a question mark and have it be checked. You could also add more description in your comments if you'd like. So we've also finished our riser number 5 up to this point, which in this level, it's going to be connected to riser number 9, and as for riser number 9, it's going to eventually connect to riser number 4.